You could be maybe in a meeting, on a panel discussion, or at a conference, minding your own business, probably even thinking about what time would be a realistic time for you to order lunch. And then someone will suddenly point the microphone at you and then ask, David, what do you think about the macroeconomic shifts in the last quarter? You know you have no idea about that question. Matter of fact, inside of you, your soul has left your body already. Outside, you're probably even calculating the physics of jumping out of the window immediately so that you will escape that question. But somehow, some way, you will be nodding confidently, behaving as if you have it all figured out and everything is fine. Here's what happens to a lot of people in that situation. When they're asked a question and then they discover they don't know the answer to that question, they immediately start making sounds just to prove that they are still alive. They ask you a question, you figure out you don't know the answer to that question, and then you start doing or it's not a strategy. It only tells the entire room that you have absolutely no idea about the question you have just been asked. Instead, you can adopt the strategy I used to employ when I was a competitive debater whenever I was asked points of information which I didn't prepare for. What I used to do was the tactical stall and pivot strategy, and I'm going to share that with you. The stall and pivot strategy has mainly two parts. The first part is the complement. Now, let's say John has asked you a question and then it's your turn to answer that question. You can say something like, well, John, thank you very much for that well-structured question. Do you really care about the question? No. Matter of fact, that question is even ruining your life. But by complimenting them for asking you that question, you've just bought yourself 2 or maybe 3 extra seconds to collect your thoughts and make up an answer as you go along. The second part of this strategy is called the reframe. What the reframe does is it allows you to reframe that question such that you will answer the question you wish they had asked you. Politicians do this all the time. Let's say, for instance, they ask you about the economy. You can say something like, well, John, thank you very much for that question about the economy. Do you know who's really at the heart of our economy? The youths. Let me tell you about the youths. Now you're answering a question about the youths, which is what you had wished they had asked you, which is what you prepared for, whereas you were asked a question about the economy. But only you knows that you were not prepared for that question. It's a simple strategy. Acknowledge the question, buy yourself some seconds to think about the answer to that question, and then pivot your answer to the question you wish they had asked you. It's that simple and it's genius. As a public speaker, you're going to be faced with a lot of these situations. People are going to assume you know almost everything about everything, and they are going to ask you almost any kind of question at any time. So you're going to have to develop strategies like this, maybe even some of your own, so you can answer these kind of questions whenever they come up. Because remember, as a public speaker, everybody assumes you know. So you may as well develop strategies to always keep them satisfied. My name is David Makudi. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and I'll either see you on stage or I'll see you in my next video.